Hey there, Wargamers, and welcome back to another Wargames Delivered video. In this video, we're going to be unboxing, reviewing, and painting one of the British Grenadiers from Konflikt 47. It's a cool alternate history version of bolt action, and it's got quite a lot of units in it that are very unique to the game. Lots of tanks, walkers, bear infantry, and zombies. To start out, we've got some metal bits there, some alternate guns and heads for your units. Got a nice assembly leaflet here for all of the plastic sprues. It labels everything so you know what piece is what. And here are the plastic sprues that we have here. There are 2, so you have 10 soldiers in total. This is about a 90% accurate unboxing and review, as I've already built one of the guys on the sprues. As you can see, you've got a lot more customization options than typical bolt action sprues. You can place the helmets on the heads, the guns come separate from the hands, so you've got a lot more area for customization. As you can see, I've already cut out one of the soldiers and built them and primed them. We'll be painting him later on in the video. Let's go to the last sprue in here, which is going to be all of the weapon options on the sprues here. And on this sprue, you have your typical historically accurate weapons, the rifles, submachine guns, grenades, and pickaxes. Now we'll move the box to the side and go over each sprue in a little bit more detail here. So you get one weapon sprue, which should be more than enough for the soldiers that you have on the other sprues. Again, 10 soldiers on the sprues and the metal bits over here. The metal bits, like I said, are mainly just head options and other weapon options. Mainly for the Konflikt 47 part of the game. The plastic sprue has all of the options for the bolt action version of the game. As you can see on the assembly leaflet, you have some beautifully painted miniatures there to reference when you're painting your miniatures, as well as the box art here, which you can use to kind of judge what colors you want to use on your miniatures. Now, I wanted to show off the level of customization that you have in a standard bolt action starter army. We'll go with one of the sprues from the Japanese starter army. And in these, you can tell that the weapons are attached to the hands. It's all a little bit easier to put together, but the Konflikt 47 units have a lot more customization, almost like a Games Workshop kit. Now, the main differences between a standard bolt action set and a Konflikt 47 set are the heads and the arms. A lot of the heads and arms in a standard bolt action sprue come attached to a weapon, and the heads come attached to a helmet. As you can see on the Konflikt 47 set, you have a lot more customization there. Most bolt action sets usually have about 5 to 6 minis on the sprue, just like the Konflikt 47 miniatures, so you can expect about the same amount of miniatures on the sprue. But with each piece kind of isolated on the Konflikt 47 set, that gives you a lot more customization options and allows you to build your unique force. Here's the built and primed soldier from the Konflikt 47 British Grenadiers set. As you can see, he's got a scoped rifle, which isn't very common in a lot of the standard bolt action sets. And with all of the weapon options that are available in this set here, you can either use them for regular bolt action or Konflikt 47 itself. We'll go ahead and cut another soldier off the sprue, showing you all of the options that are available on the Konflikt 47 set. As you can see, I'm always using my flat end towards the miniature when cutting off the sprue. And also, when you're cutting off the sprue, try to get as close to the plastic as you can without damaging any of the detail on the miniature. I've really enjoyed this Konflikt 47 set so far because you have universal options for both games, and it really adds double the value since you can use them for either bolt action or Konflikt 47. This is more of a basic infantry set, but there are many interesting options in Konflikt 47. There are laser tanks, big walkers, bear infantry, zombies, just depends on the faction that you're using. The British faction themselves feature a lot of tanks and walkers, as well as automated infantry, so a lot of Terminator-esque looking infantry, which is very cool. And each piece has a bit more detail than a standard bolt-action infantry set. As you can see, the backpacks each have their own extra details on them. As you can see, I've kind of mapped out where each piece on the miniature will go before gluing it together. You will want to take a hobby knife and remove any mold lines on the miniature before gluing it together. With this soldier in particular, on the weapon sprue, I chose a SMG, so he is usable in both games. And now we will take our hobby knife and remove any mold lines, excess plastic, or anything that stands out to us before gluing the miniature together. As always, be careful when using your hobby knife. Don't add too much force, just try to push very gently until the piece of excess plastic just kind of pushes away. And now we'll move on to painting our miniature. Starting off with algae green, we're going to use this as the canvas color for most of the uniform. We're going to be using a darker green to accent all of the straps, boots, and pouches. So keep that in mind, try to keep those areas blank if you can. As I do with most of my speed paint projects, I base this miniature with a matte black to start, and then matte white over top of that for sort of a zenithal highlight. This is the best way to get the color directly from the bottle to the miniature using speed paints. Speed paints are a great option for uniforms universally on bolt action miniatures because they sink really well into the recesses and give you a lot of details, kind of painting and washing in one step. As always, if you do make any mistakes, just go back to some matte white and clean it up before moving on to the next step. We are back to doing physical prizes in our giveaways, so be sure to check out the pinned comment below and head to our Discord to enter the giveaway for your chance to win. When using speed paints, if you notice that your color is getting a little bit lighter than the areas that you've already painted, just be sure to go back to your palette, add a little bit more to your brush before painting the rest of the model. If you're interested in trying out any of the paints used in this video or picking up some Konflikt 47 miniatures for yourself, be sure to visit us over at wargamesdelivered.com or head to our Amazon store. There will be links to both in the description below. Moving on to our next speed paint, we're going to switch over to burnt moss for all of the boots, straps, the backpack, and the helmet on the miniature. Burnt moss is a nice dark, almost black green, so just be careful with this color. It is a lot darker than the algae green that we used in the previous step, so if you need to, switch to a smaller brush like I did for a bit more control of your paint. For a couple of details on the model, we're going to be switching over to the Fanatic line because they work really well in conjunction with the speed paints. If you feel that the new speed paints dry too fast or dry a little bit too dark, be sure to pick up a bottle of the speed paint medium because that can fix both of those problems very easily. Once you're done with burnt moss, we're going to switch over to peachy flesh for all of the exposed skin tones on the models, mainly just the face and the hands. If you do accidentally get this color on any of the colors that we did before, just be sure to have a dry brush handy to wipe that away very quickly. The speed paints do dry very quickly, but if you have a dry brush and you're quick about it, you can usually get rid of all of the excess speed paint. And once that's dry, we're going to switch over to our Fanatics, switching to oak brown. We're going to use this on the gun. Don't worry about being too clean in this step, just try to avoid the speed paint areas. We will be coming back in later on with another color to paint in the gunmetal details on the weapon. And moving on finally to matte black from the Fanatic line as well. We're going to use this to paint the scope and all of the metal areas on the gun. Once you're finished with the matte black, you can switch over to plate mail metal to add a little bit of shine to all of those metallic areas. And once that's finished, your British Grenadier is ready for the battlefield, whether it be bolt action or Konflikt 47. Thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and comment if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. Bye!